What's up, jabronis? It's a happy new year here at the Woodward Bet Show. It is New Year's Eve. We got all kinds of action today we're going to break down for you. We are excited to be looking at the college football playoff. We got a little bit of NBA, and we even got some of Beastie's first love back, NHL, for this New Year's Eve. So those guys are back in the groove. But let's get right to it. Detroit Beastie, glad to have you in the house today on a Friday, New Year's Eve. So what's going on
Yes.
there, buddy?
Well, I will say, at this stage of the game, it's December 31st. It's 2022 tomorrow. And I know you and Spencer behind the glass, he's produced a bunch of shows. Beer, he's done a ton of broadcasts, and I have too, but I haven't talked into my microphone in probably almost 10 days here. So when I was getting ready for this, I was nervous, like a good nervous. Anytime you broadcast and you give your opinion, it should be interesting. It should be fun. It should be exciting. And I am genuinely nervous right now for maybe because Michigan's playing today, but I haven't been on with you boys in a while, like way before Christmas. So I'm happy to be here. Work out the nerves, get the kinks out. And as they say, if you're in a fist fight or you're boxing, everybody has a plan until they get hit in the mouth. So I'm waiting for you or Spence to just punch me in the mouth, knock me right, and we'll get moving.
Oh man, we wouldn't do that to you yet. I mean, Spencer might. He always likes to poke some fun at us. He's pretty good at that. But I know what you mean about the nerves, Chris. I woke up this morning and I was feeling kind of funny. I don't know if it was because, I'm not that excited to go to the New Year's party. I mean, it's New Year's, cool. It's a lot of fun, but it's like double whammy now with this Michigan game we got going on tonight. And man, I cannot wait. We got Alabama and Cincinnati first here at 3:30, which I'm kind of looking forward to that too. I think it's going to be, an Alabama show. But yeah, Chris, I mean, waking up today, ready to go with Michigan. I mean, I was just down in Miami, so you see all the pictures and everything of where everybody's at, and it's like, oh, I was just there, man. It's just a sweet area, a pretty cool place to be. So, man, it's pretty cool that Michigan boys get to go down there and have some fun and get ready for this big game we got tonight. But Chris, so let's get into New Year's. I mean, let's everybody have a safe, happy New Year's. We need all the listeners we can get, so we need you guys to make sure you're safe, have a happy New Year tonight. Don't overly do it. Make sure, hey, it's easy to get an Uber, get a ride, whatever else. You can don't Twitter DM me or anything because I won't be able to get you. I'll be drunk, so don't bother doing that crap. But either way, Beastie, what do you got playing? You got anything exciting going on? You just gonna lay low? What you got going?
Well, you're looking at it here. I'm going to be at home, and what you can't see is I got my hat on, I got this nice fleece on, but I'm not even really wearing any pants. I got like a Nike gym shorts on underneath. So that's the professionalism here. That's pull the camera back, and you can kind of fool the audience in a way. But I'm wearing gym shorts and this fleece, and I'm going to stay home. I'm going to break out the my deep fryer, and I'm going to make a whole bunch of like appetizers. Potato skins, mozzarella cheese sticks, and that's it. Just pig out and stay home. I've already ordered everything, so I do not have to leave this evening. So if anybody needs anything, you can DM me. I'll pick you up if you're close enough. But obviously, jokes aside, don't be stupid, don't be foolish. I mean, we're right on the cusp of 2022. There's no reason people should be drinking and driving anymore, given all the friendships and all these rideshare apps. So be safe and stay home if you want. Stay home if you can. Actually, that's the move here. You can be at peace here in home and watch football and just relax.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's some really good football today. We got some getting into the meat of the bowl season, which I'm looking forward to. But Chris, let's take a look at this first college football playoff game that we have coming on today at 3:30. So I know we're live right now, so it looks like we got about an hour and a half to till we get to that one. So I'm already looking forward to that one here. We have Cincinnati and of course the Crimson Tide of Alabama here. So this one here started out Alabama minus 14. We got 13 and a half right now. Over under really hasn't moved from 58 to 57 and a half here. But Chris, what do you think here? First non-power 5 team here to make the playoff. Alabama, man, they are just been so tough here in these semifinal games. You look at it, they're 5-1 in semifinal games, and the only loss there did come to Ohio State in 2000 and I think it was 18, maybe somewhere around there. Yeah, 2014 actually, and they're 5 wins in this college football playoff so far, Chris. They've been by an average of 20 some points. So, as we can remember in the past, they've just always been running everybody over here. But Chris, what do you think about this game here? Is there anything you want to add to it? Anything as far as like any kind of bets? I know there's a small little
Yeah.
DFS showdown slate you can look at too with these two games tonight, but I don't know if I'll be diving in there. I think I'm pretty happy with the bets I have already lined up. But Chris, what do you think about these two? This first playoff game?
Yeah, it's going to be outstanding, and I know we say that all the time, especially those of us who broadcast and write and play DFS. To us, everything is outstanding, everything is fantastic, but this is literally the best of the best. Aside from Georgia playing Michigan later on this afternoon, these two teams are the best in the country as it stands now. They're both against each other. Cincinnati 13-7 against the spread their last 20 games. The total has gone under in 5 of Cincinnati's last 7 games. But enough with the betting stuff. I'm here to give my opinion on this game, though. So when you look at Alabama, they kind, I don't want to say they fizzled out, but they were just ho humming along here in the season, and then boom, they turned it on when they needed to in the SEC championship game, the game leading up to the SEC championship game, and bam, now they find themselves number 1 overall going against Cincinnati. And we've talked about that, at least I have, in length in terms of did they really deserve to be number 1 after the butt whipping Michigan lay down on Ohio State and Iowa? I mean, it was pretty clear, but hey, they didn't want a repeat, right, of Alabama playing Georgia again. That's nonsense. But here we are. Fast forward, we're talking New Year's Eve, and we get into this game. So when you look at Alabama, they're riding high off of an SEC championship game. Their is just awesome on full display against Georgia. I think they 36 total yards. They scored 41 points. Bryce Young went on to win the Heisman Trophy after this. So when you look at Alabama, they're averaging, I believe, 42.2 points a game and 495 and a half yards a game here. So this one, it could get out of control pretty quick here. But I'm telling you right now, the Cincinnati Bearcats, they have the horses to hang in this one. Desmond Ridder, their quarterback, has been outstanding all season. And even, I believe their starting running back is Jerome Ford. And look, Cincinnati can hang with points and yardage just as best as the rest of them. I believe they put up 400 yards and they scored 35 total points last game against Houston here. So this one, it's going to be a battle between, it's like, let's just call it what it is here, boys. It's a David and Goliath kind of thing. And when you look at it, when you go on social media and you look on all these bets and these point spreads, and polls, a lot of people ask Twitter polls, who do you think is going to win this game? And you go down to it, it's all opinion based. Cincinnati, they're like 57% projected to win just based on regular folks like us giving our opinion. I think most people, they let the idea of this big machine of Alabama needs to go down, and what better way to do it than this underdog, this out of a Power 5 team, Cincinnati, undefeated. What better sweetness kind of Christmas gift would it be if Cincinnati beat Alabama here? We need to hold our horses, because in all honesty, I don't think that's going to happen. And look, I could sit up here and broadcast. We're live right now on Woodward Sports. You've given me the microphone. I could say all this nonsense to kind of spin things to my advantage, because I want Michigan to win the national championship, and the road is through Georgia. And then who wants to play Alabama in the college football championship game? I sure won't. But again, in a way, if Michigan makes it that far and they get to Alabama and they run through Alabama, that road would be sweet. So you always want to have the best possible scenario and the best possible teams boom in front of you, because then that way, after the season is done, we're not going to hear none of that. We hear, oh, it was a Mickey Mouse victory, right? It was all, you built the super team in NBA and this and that. So to me, I do think Alabama's going to win this game. But Scott, I will say Cincinnati is getting 13.5 points, and that's the direction I'm leaning. I think Alabama wins outright by about 10 points, 38-28. So if you take Cincinnati plus 13.5, you'll cover. So you get the best of both worlds. Alabama wins, you take Cincinnati with the points, and boom, we're off and running to the Michigan-Georgia game.
Yeah, I like the boom reference. Of course, with John Madden, every time I hear boom now, that's the John Madden. That's the John Madden phrase for sure. But a couple things I want to add to this game here. So Alabama's going to be without their top receiver here. He had 128 some targets. That'd be John Mechie. He's going to be out. So they're going to have to look at two receivers here that they haven't normally been going to. Obviously, if they're at Alabama, they're probably 5-star receivers. So it's not like we're probably, going to see too much regression there. But the other thing too, I want to mention, I think that Alabama's just going to give the ball to Brian Robinson about 30 times. He's just going to run, and they're going to run, because I think the back of that Cincinnati defense is pretty good. They actually have a pretty decent pass rush as well. So I think that Alabama's going to want to run. I think that if Alabama gets out in front, I think they're just going to keep running and not really show anything in that passing game here. So for that national championship game, especially if they have to face a Michigan who they don't want to, obviously, with that being the strength of the Michigan defense. But one thing I will mention, Cincinnati is very efficient in the red zone. They've scored 42 out of 48 times, that being touchdowns, when they've got into the red zone. So this offense here has been just putting up all sorts of different points here. So I think Cincinnati is going to be able to score on Alabama. I'm just curious to see if they're going to be able to stop the run. Obviously, we know Alabama has a really good offensive line. So I think that this is the best front on both sides of the ball that Cincinnati obviously will see all year. So I want to see how they respond. But Cincinnati does have 3 NFL prospects in the back of that defense. So just to see Bryce Young back there throwing it, I don't know, how much success he's going to have, but I do think Brian Robinson should have a pretty decent day. Now, just kind of looking at the game here, if you look around in some of the betting circles, a lot of the sharps do agree with you, Chris, that Cincinnati is the value here, getting those points. So I'm not quite sure if I'm on that yet. I'm thinking about it, but I do like some points to be scored here with Alabama and Cincinnati. I think Alabama is going to be able to run. It's going to lead off some play action, and I think you're going to see some points being scored. But I mean, Alabama's just so good. I think Alabama's going to get up there in the 30s, and I think maybe even the 40s. So I do think Cincinnati is capable of getting 4 touchdowns or so here. So I do like the over in this one. But Chris, I'll tell you, I think when you get to this stage in the college playoff, don't you feel as if the coaching matters more than like from a week to week? I mean, you give Nick Saban a couple weeks to prepare for you. I wouldn't want
Yeah,
that as a coach on the other side. I mean, to
no
me, I
doubt.
think
Yeah.
that's dangerous.
And it's more, yeah, you give these guys 2 weeks. We always talk about Bill Belichick getting even an extra day is such a huge advantage if you're a half decent coach. Bill Belichick, Sean Payton, however you want to put it. But Nick Saban in college now, as you said, he's got 2 weeks to prepare for a Cincinnati offense and defense. Who it's I don't want to say it's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, because I found this little nugget briefly. Both teams, Alabama and Cincinnati, they scored 40 points a game here. Cincinnati, they give up 4 less points at 16.1 a game than Alabama. So there's a little edge to be gained there, where if they both give up 40 points and then Cincinnati, you could put a little bit of muzzle on that one and they're 4 less points. So it's just a process of math and simple elimination here. But when you look at it, I think the coaching is more important live in game, because again, yeah, a lot of I call them kids, but they're grown men. They're in their late teens, early 20s, but they're still trying to get a grasp of not the mental aspect of things, but rotating in and out, time management, and that's all falls on the coach. We look across the NFL right now, and there's just some coaches that are just bad news with controlling the clock, or using timeouts when they shouldn't, and trying. It's just a wild situation. So to me, Nick Saban in this game, you would give the massive advantage to Alabama because he's been there before. He's been there a million times. How many playoffs have they made? How many national championships have they won? So you're going against a very, I don't want to say weak or timid Cincinnati team, but just a team with little to no experience in big spots here. Yeah, they beat Houston for the title game to make it this far, but Nick Saban is by far and away the best coach in this game as it stands now. So yeah, you got to give a little green check mark to Saban in Alabama, because they've been around, they've seen it and done it all. That's a huge bump.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Nick Saban, I'm glad like in this playoff, Michigan didn't have to play Saban first, because I can't. I think he's just such a master at coming up with a game plan. I mean, we've seen him make some ballsy calls. He brought Tua to life during one of these college playoffs and ended up sitting Hurts. But I mean, I just think, he's just such far and ahead of everybody else as far as coaching. But yeah, so we'll get to some best bets at the end if we got any of that. Of course, we're going to run down a little bit of hockey. We'll run down some NBA. Before we do that, Chris, there's 2 college football playoff games, which involves one, the team with the best helmet in college football. I mean, can we not agree? It is the best helmet in college football. And then, Chris, we got time. The best fight song.
That's it.
Stand up, Spencer.
Let's get wild, Spencer. Look at that.
Yeah, get it, Spencer. Get it, Spencer. That's what we like to see. Hey, it's okay, Spencer. We won't tell anybody, you're a Sparty. We know. You can root for us today. We're in the Big Ten, man. You know what? We all share that money for the Bulls. So we get to an extra game as a little extra cash for everybody in the Big Ten, obviously. But yeah, man, I'm excited for this one, Chris. Should be a lot of fun. 7:30. Good 7:30 start. We already know who they're going to be able to face. Probably Alabama, as we already mentioned. But man, Chris, I'm excited for this one. I cannot wait. You talk about the butterflies. I already got them, buddy. I'm ready to go.
Goosebumps.
I'm not as excited as I was in the Ohio State game for some reason. Man, that Ohio State game, I was ready to run through a damn wall. But today, I'm just excited. It's just surreal that finally my team has got to this college playoff. But Chris, some exciting action here. I got all kinds of little prop bets and everything written down here we can go over. But what do you think about this game here? Our Big Blue in the national stage in the college football playoff.
Well, I feel like I have so much to say here, and I didn't really write anything down. It's all in my head. So I'm going to get out. I'm going to say the easiest stuff first, and then we can dig in here. I think the over 45 is a lock here. Again, both teams are scoring nearly 40 points a game in this one. The Orange Bowl, it's outstanding in Miami, right where you came from. But when you look at this team, I don't want to say it's two different stories here, right? Michigan has been outstanding all season, both on defense and offense. And then Georgia, they've been an absolute defensive juggernaut all season. I believe there was a point in the season, maybe 6, 7, 8 games into the year where they were only giving up, not kidding, like 6 or 7 points a game, which is crazy to me in college football here. But Georgia, they're good. I believe they've used 4 different quarterbacks this season, but Stenson Bennett has been the go-to guy this season. 148 completions for a little bit over 2,300 yards, 24 touchdown passes. Zamir White it leads their very potent rushing attack, 718 yards, 10 touchdowns on only 135 carries. But we got to look at James Cook as well. He's got, I just believe, just shy of 620 rushing yards here. But Michigan, let's just call it what it is. And I'm going to put my homerism aside for a minute. What I'm saying now, these are just the facts. These are cold, hard numbers that anybody can get to. But the Michigan Wolverines, they're probably the hottest team in the nation right now with something left to play for, right? State played yesterday. They won their bowl game, and it was a great season from them. But in college football and all professional sports, the goal is to win the championship, win it all. And Michigan and Georgia are in a place to do that right now here. But the Michigan, as I said, they're on a very hot streak right now. They absolutely spanked Iowa 42-3 in the Big Ten championship game. On defense, this Michigan Wolverines, they've just been unbelievably dominant. I know I keep using that word, but it paints a good picture here. They held the Hawkeyes to only, I believe, 279 yards of offense and shutting them out in 3 quarters. They kicked the field goal early, and then boom, that was it here. But again, Michigan, I think, you look at it in all professional sports, because there's all these ebbs and flows in the regular season, and you want to peak at the right time. Just like me or you, if we peaked in high school, then hey, that's all downhill from here, being in my mid 30s here. But Michigan is peaking at the right time. 2 unbelievably good wins against Ohio State and Iowa, and just 2 good teams in the Big Ten here. But offensively, totaling 460 yards last time out, 42 points in a massive blowout. Cade McNamara, he led the way for Michigan, 16 of 24, not throwing a lot, for 169 yards, I believe, because these running backs, Blake Corum, Hassan Haskins, are just playing out of their minds. And in a weird way, we always say it's a 1-2 punch, especially in the NFL. That's the way of the future. That's the lay of the land right now, where every team has 2 good running backs, Thunder, Lightning, however you want to put it here. But Michigan, realistically, they have 3 kind of studly running backs here. But I'm willing to bet that Blake Corum and Hassan Haskins, they're each going to get 15 plus carries. I know that's saying a lot, but in a game against Georgia, who's awesome defensively, that's the Michigan way. Bo Schembechler laid this groundwork out 30, 40 years ago, probably before I was even born. And Harbaugh knows what he's doing. Is there a way, and I'll ask you or anybody that's watching this live, you can let us know in the comments here, but is there a way that John Harbaugh has kind of leveled up? He's found what works for him and his team, given the personnel of the kids, and he's just going to try and ram it down their throats. And then boom, when you need to make a big play down the field, you can air it out to any one of these kids here. And again, I believe their rookie quarterback, what's his last name, McCarthy, this kid is quicker than lightning. They're going to throw everything possible at Georgia here because, again, if they win, yeah, they're going to move on to a championship game, but it's you just have to go 1-0 here. So I believe that they will throw everything, including the kitchen sink, at Georgia here. And I'll leave it at that. Yeah, I have a final score prediction. Yeah, I have a couple bets here, but you let me talk for about 15 minutes and I'm getting goosebumps. I'm fired up. My voice keeps changing. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited too, man. I'll tell you, this is a lot of fun today. It's almost like Christmas before Christmas after Christmas. But a few things here that I'm gonna mention here. So Georgia, their defensive coordinator just took the Oregon job. So I've been reading here that there's some pretty disappointed players on that side of the ball there for Georgia. So how motivated was he here to get his team ready? With that, knowing that he's getting that job there. But one thing I'll too mention, Georgia's only allowed 11 touchdowns this whole season so far. So obviously, I think that's why you're seeing this under so low in this game here at 43. I do think both offenses are pretty efficient. I think both offenses can score here. Georgia's ranked 30th in college football with their rushing attack at about 194.8 yards per game. And then Michigan is 10th. So you got two teams that can run the ball. But what we saw here with Georgia and Alabama exposed them on the back part of that defense. So I think Michigan, if they can establish the run, they should have some opportunities to go downfield, maybe to Anthony or to maybe Edwards today. So I do like that. Now, Georgia is paced by their tight end. They got a really good tight end, Brock Bowers. Against Alabama, he had 10 catches, 139 yards, and a touchdown. So you already mentioned the running backs, White and Cook. They have 17 touchdowns between the two of them. But I mean, you look here, Michigan's running backs, Chris, 32 combined touchdowns between Corum and Haskins. And now we got Corum healthy. He had some time to heal up a little bit, so I think that's going to help a lot. But I think this game here is going to be a game of where whoever makes the mistakes, whoever gets the kick return, maybe the punt return, the interception return, I think these two teams are fairly well matched. Yes, we have some mismatches in certain spots, but I think there's other spots on the other side of the ball where you get mismatches that kind of level it all out. So I think this game here is going to be fairly close. I am going to take my team here, Michigan, today. I'm going to bet on them. I do like the over more though than taking Michigan. But I mean, this game here started out at 9. It's down to 7.5. Most of the money is coming in on Michigan here, so I do like the Wolverines. But I'm going to mention a couple props here, Chris, that I like. Was looking at a couple stuff. As I mentioned, I think Michigan is going to try to throw the ball a little bit downfield, as you mentioned. I think they're going to, maybe mix it up a little bit offensively. Gaddis has shown he's willing to try, some different short type passes, some different type schemes. You mentioned McCarthy coming in. I'm sure they're going to run him out there a few times today. But I like Andrell Anthony to score an anytime touchdown today. It's at plus 475 over there on DK. So I really like that. And then Edwards was plus 550 to score an anytime touchdown today too. So I think you're going to see a receiver for Michigan getting that end zone today. I mean, those are pretty good odds. You're almost getting at 5-1. But Chris, I'm going to tell you one thing today that I think has a shot of happening. You let me know what you think and if I'm crazy. To score the first touchdown in the game, the Michigan defense is plus 6,500. Now, we know we already have the best pass rush. Who's to say that kid don't drop back and they don't get and Hutchinson gets a sack or whatever else the case, or maybe they deflect the pass. I mean, at plus 6,500 to score the first touchdown in a game with a low over under. I mean, I don't mind that at all. I think that might be a fairly decent play today, especially those odds. Beer and I talk about, betting these, high odds like this, that sit back, throw $10 on it, you win $650. I mean, I don't know about you, Chris, but if Michigan scores the first touchdown defensively and I got plus 6,500, man, this dude here might put his head through the ceiling. I'd be so damn happy. But, yeah,
Look,
I think that's a pretty good bet.
I don't know much about Georgia, right, in terms of their like the makeup of their football team. Obviously, you can look at the players and the coaches here. I don't know what these kids do to get amped up for this game. I don't know what they're doing, in the locker room or on the field, pregame throughout the season here. But I'm telling you now, maybe because we're here in Michigan, this is my favorite college football team. You can see Aiden Hutchinson and Ogib Owagbo, how you say his name perfectly.
Ajabo.
Both of the Ajabo. These defensive ends, they're nuts. They're wild. They don't care. And again, in a way, it's just football, right? People say that all the time, but seriously, these two kids are crazy. And if I was on the other end of the field, if I was playing for Georgia, yeah, I would be a little nervous. I would be a little scared. But you can't show that when you're playing football, at such a high level here. But I'm telling you, I love that one too. I'm going to write that down when I'm done talking here. Yeah, who's to say it's not a combo of one of these DNs knocking it loose and a safety picks? Who knows? But I love that for plus 650. Those are outstanding odds.
6,500. So it's 6,500, Chris. It's huge. So I do like that. Now, if you all get watching the show here and you go over there to DK and you start betting that, that's going to drop to probably 6,000 or whatever else. But man, I already hit it already. I'll tell you what, that would be a pretty nice one. If you throw 20 bucks on it, Chris, that's 1,300 bucks if they score the first touchdown for 20 bucks. So defensively. So I do like that. Another one I like James Cook's prop receiving for Georgia. He's the running back. I think with all the pressure, they're going to have to try to stop that. I think they're going to have to throw him a couple screen passes. So I do like his over receiving yards, 15 and a half. And then Haskins, I like both Michigan's running backs over props too. Haskins is at 58.5 rushing yards, and we have Corum is only at 44 and a half rushing yards, Chris. So, I mean, between the two of them, I would expect Michigan to get pretty close to 100 yards rushing. If they're ahead in this game, we're going to expect a lot more in that. We do know that they'd give both guys carries, as you mentioned, 15 plus carries for each. So, I mean, I don't mind that at all, taking both of those guys' rushing props today. And I do, like I said, I do like either Anthony or Edwards to score an anytime touchdown today. So I think that would be a good bet. But, Chris, I know this is all the fun for us today and everything, and we're really looking forward to all this. But we do have some other games here we got to look at. We got some NBA, and I'll tell you, man, NBA has just been crazy here lately with all these injuries and all these guys that are out for COVID. And it's just one thing after another here that you got to just pay attention to. But there's some games here at all different times of the day. Obviously, there's always different kinds of injuries. We want to know there's some questionable guys. Reggie Jackson's questionable. Bradley over there for the Lakers, Ariza. We got Jimmy Butler's questionable today. Evan Fournier for the Knicks is questionable. SGA for OKC is questionable. And then you got Ingles questionable over there for Utah. Cleveland is on a back-to-back here, second night of a back-to-back, the only team. They did get a little bit healthier yesterday with Davis, Stevenson, and Windler all coming back. But we'll have to keep our eye on Garland, Jared Allen, and then Osman as well to see if they still stay on that COVID list. But I mean, them losing Ricky Rubio, that really hurt. There should be some value there at the guards there. But with Butler questionable, I'm not sure. It looks like the Heat are finally getting some players back. So I think Lowry and Garrett should clear. I don't know if Chalmers and Stockus is going to get in there as well today, but I don't mind those guys. Julius Randle's got hurt too for the Knicks, so not sure if Norenz Noel is going to get in there. If Derrick Rose will get a little bit more usage there, maybe Alex Burks. But yeah, just kind of looking at some NBA bets, just kind of looking around here. I mean, we got what do we say? We have 9 games that are going here. We already have one going. Boston is absolutely smoking Phoenix, which is surprising there. I mean, they're covering by 20 some points. So actually, Chris, sometimes that's when I know a team that's that good. They're down 20 like that here in the middle of the third quarter. Sometimes I don't mind throwing a little bit of live action over there on Phoenix, but you never know, man. I think you get some pretty good odds with that. But just kind of looking at some bets here, I think that Cleveland's in pretty good spot, even though they are pretty short-handed at home. I do like them minus the 1.5 today. I think that's a pretty interesting spot. That game's at 7 o'clock. We do have a 3 p.m. game here that everybody can watch here before the Michigan game. We got the Bulls and Pacers here. I think I would lean toward the Bulls, giving 3.5 to the Pacers. So I don't mind that one at all. But Chris, obviously, if you're playing NBA DFS, got to keep your ear to the ground. I mean, all night, all day. It's just been such a disaster. I'm actually getting a little frustrated with it myself, to be honest. But I know you're happy NHL's back. Our beloved Wings got a game today. It's like a tradition, Chris. Have you ever been to a New Year's
Yeah.
Eve game down there? Yeah, for the Red Wings, it's a lot of fun. I've been a couple times.
I have a lot. I used to go. There was a thing with my father and I and some of my guy friends that I grew up with. We're still friends to this day. But we would always go to the Lions Thanksgiving Day game, and then we would always go to Joe Louis for the Red Wings New Year's Eve game. And as we got older, excuse me, when we were younger, it entitled a bunch of stuff. We'll go to the bar for a little while, then we'll go to the game, then we'll go back to the bar, go out downtown until 2, 3 in the morning. And now, as we're getting older, all of my guy friends, they all had their second children. My one friend Kirk, shout out to him, and Jessica just had their third child, finally their first boy. So now we're all home and in peace, well, not alone, but with our significant others here. So I haven't been to a Red Wings New Year's Eve game in quite some time, not at least since they switched over to Joe Louis Arena. But when we look at the hockey now, if anybody remembers correctly, I believe the last time I was on with you in beer, we get into hockey because I guess it makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. But there was a lot of requests from everybody out there that's watching now or leaving comments. They wanted more hockey action, and that's what I love to do with my notes and go through pens and paper like it's going out of style here. But we got word, or at least we thought we did, like a week or two weeks ago, that hockey was going to be suspended until after the new year. Come to find out, it was only a handful of teams. Carolina got hit hard by COVID, so they kind of sat this one out to the new year. So if you look back at the last few days, there hasn't been much hockey. There has been at least one professional hockey game on, and tonight there's only two games. Both first puck drop is at 7 p.m. in Tampa Bay. The Rangers take on the Lightning, and then 7:30, the Washington Capitals head to Detroit to take on the Red Wings here. So I've made no secret about the fact when I play DFS, mainly hockey, I love a smaller slate, right? Because when you look at these 11, 12 game slates, there's a lot that can go wrong. You have to have a perfect lineup to get anything done. But when you only have 2 or 4 games here, in my head with my pen and paper, I think I can just write and go over every line combination possible, and you can max enter a contest here. So stick with me here. We're going to go to Tampa Bay first of all. And when you look at this one, I've never shied away from first line versus first line here, but I've always loved that combination where I can go the Rangers first line versus Tampa Bay second line, and then Tampa Bay's first line versus the Rangers second line. So there's all these weird combos. I take photos and I share my notes here. Maybe you don't understand it, and to be honest with you, I don't half the time here, but I go with it. So if I had to choose my favorite line from the Rangers and Tampa Bay game, it would be the Rangers first line. Mika Zibanejad, Chris Kreider, Capo Caco, who's only 4,100 fan, first line, first power play unit. Same thing with Mika, same thing with Chris Kreider. So all three guys are going to get first line exposure against the high flying Tampa Bay Lightning, and you're going to get first power play exposure here. And then when we double it back with Tampa Bay here, I love their second line. Braden Point, second line, first power play unit. Alex Killorn, second line, first power play unit. And Corey Perry, I'm sure we all remember him. He was a stud in New York. He's moved around, went to Dallas. Now he's with Tampa Bay. Second line, second power play unit. So with the Rangers first line and the Tampa Bay Lightning second line, you're getting exposure to all the line. You're getting exposure to the first line, second line, first power play unit, and a little bit of a sprinkle of the second power play unit here. So hopefully someone's grabbed a pen and a paper and writing this down. If not, I can share my notes after here. When we listen to Washington taking on the Wings here, I believe you told me prior to going live here that the Wings have gotten some of their guys back. Robbie Fabry is back. Philip Hronek, he's back. I mean, the Wings tweeted out not too long ago that all eyes are on Hronek. This kid is back and he's finally healthy, and he looks to play very well tonight here. But Washington, you literally, you cannot go wrong with their first line. I don't care if it's doomsday, and if Washington is playing, you're going to want to start our first line. Evgeny Kuznetsov, first line, first power play unit. Alexander Ovechkin, one of, if not the greatest goal scorers of my generation, at least. This guy is, what is he, in his early 40s? I don't even think he's that old. This guy just continues to rack up the goals and rack up the points here and looking to, catch Gretzky maybe? I don't know. But first line, Alexander Ovechkin, first line, as I said, first power play unit. And then Tom Wilson. He's one of the sneaky plays here, only $5,300. But Wilson, in the depth chart and all the notes and in optimizers, it'll say, well, he plays in the first line. He's really not on a power play unit. But when you watch the game and look back through the box score, Tom Wilson plays on the first line. He plays on the second line. He's getting first power play unit minutes, and he's getting a little bit of second power play unit minutes. And with Alexander Ovechkin, if the game is on, right, and the time is ticking away, Alexander Ovechkin is on the ice. This guy plays at his age. It's astounding. 26, 27 minutes a game. First line, first power play unit, second power play unit. When they're on the power play, they put him on that right circle, and he's got the one of the best one-time shots I've ever seen in terms of hockey. He sets up there, that boom, you go boom, boom, and it's in the net, if that kind of makes sense here. When we talk about the Detroit Red Wings here, I love their first line as well. Dylan Larkin, Mo Seider, stud, young rookie defenseman here, and Tyler Bertuzzi, Lucas Raymond. So you can't go wrong with matching up Washington's first line and Detroit's first line. These two lines are going to battle all game. They're going to be on the ice a whole heck of a lot. And again, I wouldn't play any goalie in this game because I think both first lines here are going to go nuts here. You're looking at 25 to 26 minutes a player, some power play units, because we know Ovi likes to stir it up. He's a jerk. He's an a-hole, but you love it because he's on the ice giving guys that stink glove here. But I'm telling you right now, Tyler Bertuzzi has no issue mixing it up. So in a way, maybe I'm predicting a Tyler Bertuzzi, Alexander Ovechkin fight. Ovi would probably mop the floor with him. But hey, Tyler, young kid trying to get the team moving here. So give me Washington first line. Give me Detroit first line. You can stack it with the Rangers second line and Tampa Bay second line here. So this one, it speaks about just instead of playing the main slate, 2 games, just play 2 single game slates where you can just concentrate on the Rangers and Tampa Bay, and then you can go all in on Washington and Detroit. That's the way I'm looking at it this evening.
Man, I don't think anybody else could have broke down that DFS breakdown better than that right there. But you just look at this Red Wing game for though. This is the rubber match. They've already won 1 game each here. We had Larkin scored an overtime game against them there in Washington. He scored an overtime goal, and then the last game here, the Capitals won November 11th down there downtown. So interesting game. Both teams haven't played in a while, as you mentioned, with all these COVID issues here. The Caps haven't played in 10 days. The Red Wings haven't played since the 13th or 18th, somewhere around there. But it's been a little while. So I think here, with our rookie points leader coming back, Lucas Raymond, who obviously we know I have a little action on him to be Rookie of the Year, along with their boy over there on the Pistons, Cade Cunningham. So I'm liking that so far. I think both these guys are in pretty good position, hopefully, to get that award. But yeah, Chris, here I don't know how much of this Red Wing game. I know, I have multiple TVs. Maybe it'll make one of my other TVs, but I know that Michigan game is going to get pretty much all my attention. It's just a bad time slot here for the Red Wings to be going up against Michigan. But yeah, I think we got all kinds of good sports here tonight. But Chris, we're getting here to this time here of the day where we're going to have to look at what we want to look at as far as bets for today. So what do you got for the people here? We gotta bring in this new year right here and start off on a bang. So what do you got for everybody here in the best bets tonight?
I love taking the Cincinnati Bearcats tonight, in probably 15, 20 minutes here. I'm taking Cincinnati plus 13.5 here. In the other game, Michigan playing Georgia, I love the over. That seems too easy, right? As I said earlier, that each team averages like 40 points a game here. So you're looking at 80 points here? And the over-under, I believe I wrote it so small, is right at about 45.5 points here. So give me Cincinnati plus 13.5. Give me the over in the Michigan game. And when we get to hockey, I love the idea of the over 5.5 goals in Washington at Detroit here. I think it's going to be somewhere along the lines of 4-2, 4-3, might come down to the last minute. Wings pull a skate or something like that here. So give me the over there. And again, I love taking Tampa Bay minus a goal and a half in this one. So that one's over under is at 6. Rangers at Tampa Bay, which is wild to me because both teams, I have them projected to win like 1-3, 4-2, something like that. But I think a couple pucks bounce Tampa Bay's way. So I'm cool with taking Tampa Bay minus 1 goal and a half.
Man, perfect. Sounds good. I'll tell you what, Chris. So I got a couple of them today. For one, I do agree with you on that over in that Michigan game. I think that is a really good play today. I think that both teams are efficient. And we had our buddy JJ on yesterday from Run Pure Bets, and he also brought that up. That was something that he really liked. And then for me too today, I am going to be with you there on the Cincinnati Bearcats. I think there is a little bit of value there, but I think I'm going to tease them up a little bit, and then I might tease down this over under in that Michigan game. That might be it. But Chris, I'll tell you what here. Since we got some other Michigan props, I'm just going to have to start playing it here. Here we go. One other bet today. Bet that receiver, Anthony to score a touchdown, plus 475. I like to put rushing props for both running backs here in this game. So, hey, we're going to leave you with this. This is what we got. Go Blue. Let's go. That's it for the Woodward Bet Show. Go Blue. We will catch you tomorrow. Have a safe, happy new year. And let's whoop that Georgia ass.